Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 115 of Carmela's Wrestling Radio Relived. I'm so excited that we've hit 115. You have no idea how much that means to me to be able to have done 115 shows. 115 weeks ago, if you would have told me that I'd be doing this so far for 115 weeks, I would have been like, nah, that's too long. But it's funny. They say the years go by quickly, even though the days drag. And that is so true. I can't believe it's like over 2 years. By the way, hi, sweetheart, my buddy Rich Schwartz. How you doing?
Hi, Carmel. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. So far, so good. I actually
Good.
took the day off today. I wanted it. I'm also off on Monday because this is going to be a really long weekend with WrestleMania, and I'm doing whatever I need to do to make sure I can at least, watch some of it. So that's what I'm doing. So I got a lot of plans for this weekend. We want to say our regular generic hellos to everybody. God, it's starting to get hard to remember everybody's name now. We're getting more and more and more people all the time. I want to say hi also to this group. I'm a part of a group that is called the Professor Bear Society. Okay, that's a whole nother issue. I know that there's James, Megan. Oh, God. I can't remember everybody. I'm so sorry. But anyway, we're going to be putting together a female-oriented podcast. Very long story short, I'll keep you posted and let you know when it's happening or what's happening. Professor Bear is a great guy. Talk to him. He has a whole bunch of ideas in mind, so I'm really excited about this. But saying hello, of course, to our regulars. Jeannie, we love you. We miss you. Jeannie has a CAT scan tomorrow of her kidney again. She said that she's still having a little issue with one kidney. So we're praying for you, sweetheart. We love you very much. Keep us posted. Can't wait till you come back. All right. Of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Chuck Langerman. I wanted to talk about having Chuck on the week after we do the Post Mania. Okay, so you'll be on for that week too, because I know you asked to be on when he's on. All right. Chuck Langerman has literally changed the course of this show. He really has. He's a great man. God bless him. We'll talk about him later. He also sent some questions today. Want to say hi to Dave Shapiro, Dave Katz, John Weslowski, John Westcott. My little Johnny has a birthday coming up soon. So as soon as he lets me know, we'll say happy birthday to him. And then there's Michelle and Mike and Hector and my David and oh my God, my Debbie. Debbie, God bless her for what she's been through. She is recovering like a trooper. She's doing very well. Want to also say hi to Joel Goodhart. I've been talking to him for a while. He's been helping me out with a couple things. Douglas Gallagher. Oh my God, my cousin Roseanne Saravo, her boyfriend Bill Rockefeller. I'm telling you, the list is getting bigger and bigger. One week, we're just going to have to say hello, everybody. Okay. And I'm so happy for that. I really am. But tonight is going to be predominantly Mania. This is Pre Mania, but we are going to talk very briefly about a couple of things that happened in AEW. First and foremost, as you know, Rich, Darby Allin won the title off of MJF. What'd you think of that?
Unexpected, and it was a 2-minute match, and I think they did that as kind of the shock value with WrestleMania week coming up. So I think they wanted some attention diverted directly to them.
I agree. I agree.
I can't say that I'm necessarily a big fan of Darby Allin, but he's been with them since the beginning, and I think he deserves a chance at it.
I'll tell you what about Darby Allin. Somebody put a comment on my post that said, "Oh yeah, right, 160-pound champion." I said, "So what?" I said, "What are you kidding me?" I remember when Taz's son Hook was a champion. He weighs about 12 pounds. It doesn't matter. And Darby Allin is a great, great wrestler. He is, and he's willing to take that shot. He's not afraid of anything. He did 4 coffin drops, one from each post, each of the ring posts. And then he did them with the headlock, and that was the end of that. So that was good. Obviously, I agree they did do it so that they could bring some attention to them because WrestleMania is this weekend. WrestleMania is huge, okay, this weekend. And I don't know, but I'll tell you what, I did hear that not a lot of tickets are selling. Let's talk about the 25% discount only on Saturday night. Now, 25% out of $2,000 or $3,000 seats, let's say, that's like 25% of nothing. There's no discount there. Come on, you're the CPA, right?
Yeah, the whole thing's ridiculous.
Okay.
It was nothing more than a gimmick to try to sell more tickets. It was strictly nothing more than a gimmick to try to sell tickets.
Exactly. So that's crap. Okay. I do think it's going to be excellent PR. I do think it's going to be a lot of publicity. Let's talk real quick about the people that are going to be nominated or inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight. Out of all the people, now we have Dennis Rodman, who I don't see why he's going to be in there at all. We have Sid Vicious. We have Demolition. We have Bad News Brown, Stephanie McMahon, AJ Styles, and they're going to do an Immortal with Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. What is your take on that, Rich?
I think it's a weak Hall of Fame class, to be honest with you. I think that I think AJ Styles is well deserved, and from a wrestling standpoint, I would say that he deserves it the best. Spent most of his career in independence and TNA, but spent enough time in WWE. The guy's been around for 20 plus years, and he's a tremendous wrestler.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as everybody else, now Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. First of all, an Immortal, okay, part of the induction should have been Andre the Giant all along. What about the rest of the wrestlers that are dead? Now, all of a sudden, because they called Hogan the Immortal Hulk Hogan, now they're going to have an Immortal part of the induction, which I don't agree with. I agree with you on AJ Styles. The guy has worked his butt off all these years. I like Sid Vicious. I think that is a deserved one. Demolition, okay, good. Bad News Brown, not so much.
Yeah.
Stephanie, now I got to be honest. Again, I happen to like Stephanie. I don't like what she did. I don't like a lot of how she was portrayed. I don't like her when she's the heel kind of thing. She takes that a little bit too far. But I think it's deserved for her too. But I think they should have put her and Shane in, which makes me think that like maybe they're still not on good terms with Shane, but they are with her. There were rumors that Vince was going to show up tonight, but then there were rumors that now he's not. So I don't think he's going to be there. Do you?
No, I read rumors also that he will not be there. As far as Stephanie's concerned, well deserved in my opinion, just from a professional standpoint. Saw some history about her. I mean, she started out at the very bottom, just like Shane did. So she really wasn't, born with the silver spoon in her mouth as far as moving into the top of the organization that her father was running. Now,
Right.
maybe she was born with the silver spoon in her mouth based on the fact that her parents were loaded with money,
Right.
but she worked her way from the bottom up, and that's well deserved. And same thing for Shane.
They both worked their way up. I remember the stories, the documentaries too, like you're saying. Shane started out putting the ring together. Stephanie started out getting coffee for people or doing errands for the wrestlers, and then moving up a little bit at a time. That I agree with 100%. I agree that everybody was treated equally. And once they got bigger, let's say, in the industry, yeah, they probably were allotted what they wanted to do, more so than what they had to do. So that's as far as that. I'm looking forward to at least watching it, though. So I'm going to literally be up late every night this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm going to literally sleep in every day this weekend, which is probably till about 8 o'clock anyway. But let's go back to AEW for a minute. I wanted to announce the fact that we didn't announce it last week that Kyle Fletcher is out for an undetermined amount of time. He tore his ACL. So he is not that great right now. He's recovering, okay? Also, I read that Will Ospreay applied for the patent to the name United Empire because he wants to make sure that if that faction should ever break up or go somewhere else, nobody can take that name. So he applied for that. I don't know if it came through yet, but that's what he is going to do. Let's go. Of course, Rich or our friend Chuck. Can you see that? Can you see that? No, can't see it. Right? Yeah. No, there we go. I got paper. Okay. He has 12 questions for us, I believe. Or no, 6 questions about WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, let's try this one first. WrestleMania officially became a 2-night event starting with WrestleMania 36 in 2020. Originally, the single night broadcast, the change has initially was forced by COVID-19 to accommodate safety protocols and limited personnel. As a fan, do you prefer the 2-day format or do you just see it as another way for the WWE to make more money? Rich?
Well, WWE is going to make more money because they're going to have whatever attendance it is over 2 nights. So that's number one. Personally, I prefer the 2 night program only because they started getting way, 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 way too long with their 1 night WrestleManias. I mean, they would go 6 hours, and that's just way too long. And I think that the strategy that they've gone to is a very smart strategy and a very prudent strategy. And it keeps you interested for each night. Each night has its own main event. Where they're going to wind up getting you in the time is with the amount that they put in for the pre-show. They put in 2 hours for this pre-show, where honestly, with the people they have on it, I could care less about watching the pre-show.
I never watch a pre-show. I don't like it. I think it's ridiculous. Okay. I don't like the pre-show. I don't watch the post-show. Okay. But I agree with you. I would prefer the 2 nights only because, like you said, it runs too long, but also there's not enough time really to do creative things in that many matches for that limited amount of time. Like AEW did, I forget which one it was, but it was 9 hours, including the pre-show. That was a long night. I still enjoyed it, but that was a long night. WWE does about 4 hours each night, which is fine with me, but that gives them a little bit more opportunity to do more stuff during the matches rather than have to cram it all in because there's so many. All right, let's go to the next one. What do you think of WWE wrestler Trick Williams? Do you see him as a can't miss prospect who will be a big time star someday?
Absolutely. I'm so impressed with the work that he's done since he came up to the main roster. And when NXT and TNA were collaborating together, and he was TNA champion and NXT champion, I think he's tremendous. I think he's got untapped potential and is the next big thing within the next 2 years.
I agree. I love Trick Williams ever since I first saw him. I think he's very good. I think I don't know how to explain. I was going to say what I don't like is all the glitz and glamour. Like it doesn't seem like they're giving him enough time to actually wrestle. He comes out, he does a lot of promo. He talks about his lemon pepper steppers, which is wonderful. He talks about who he's going to beat up. He talks about what he's going to do. But in all fairness, let him have like a repeat of several really good matches. The guy's good. Let him do what he knows how to do better. You know what I mean? I agree with you on Trick. With John Cena serving as a host, do you think he will get physical in his role, leading to a confrontation with a top star?
I don't think so. I think he's just there to be the host. I mean, if I were John Cena and I just retired and I'm going to go and do whatever I'm going to do, whether it's Hollywood or whatever, I wouldn't want to get physically involved.
I don't think he's going to either. Don't forget, he also signed a multi-year Legends deal. So he's
Right.
no way is he going from WWE. That retirement didn't mean squat. The only thing it meant was that he's not going to wrestle anymore. And I think that that's good. I don't think he should wrestle anymore because it does affect everybody's body. It really does. And you can see that it's affecting his. I remember a long time. Do you remember Victor Rivera?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sure.
Did you ever notice when he walked, he used to walk forward a little bit?
Yeah.
Instead of straight up. Well, I'm walking like that too now, but John Cena is too. If you ever notice him walking out of a car, he comes out like this and he rarely stands up straight. I've noticed that about him. So his back's got to be bothering him. Okay. Well, let's see. The federal deadline for most Americans to file individual income tax. This guy gets questions like from all over the place. And pay an outstanding taxes owed to the IRS. Rich, as a certified public accountant, can you comment on what significant income tax challenges pro wrestlers have as independent contractors, wrestling in multiple states around the U.S. and globally? Do you think the IRS targets high income independent contractors? And Carmella, back in the day, you hosted many pro wrestlers over your mother's house and your home. Have you ever heard many horror stories about wrestlers owing significant money to the IRS? Okay, you got to answer your half.
Okay, and I'll try to make it as not technical as possible. Independent contractors do not have any taxes taken out. So they're responsible for paying their own taxes. In addition to that, they can deduct their own out-of-pocket expenses for business purposes. The net profit or the net income between what they receive minus their business expenses, if it's more than $400, they have to pay 15.3 self-employment tax of that net income. In addition, because they don't have taxes taken out of their pay on a quarterly basis, they have to, well, they don't have to, but they should, because the IRS says pay as you go, that they should be paying estimated tax payments every quarter. So,
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, if they're not saving their money, it's going to be a burden. They got to put money aside to cover their taxes.
Well, I was just going to say that what I would probably have done, or what I would do, it's kind of like I guess when you hit the lottery or whatever. What I would do is I would take whatever the allotment is out of every pay and just put that aside, because that's going to hit them hard at the end of the year. However, if you're like a Seth Rollins or a Roman Reigns or whatever, it's probably not going to hit you that hard at the end of the year, because you probably have more than that amount of money just sitting around doing nothing anyway from all the years that you don't have to pay anymore except for interest, you know. Now, as far as my question, years ago, you have to understand something. Years ago, when I was dealing with the wrestlers on a regular basis, it wasn't like it is now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it. 90% of their income was cash. Okay. So no, I did not hear horror stories, because I don't think they actually paid in or had to, because it was mostly cash. It didn't start becoming checks until much later. So no, I don't think they had those issues back then. Plus, if they did have to pay taxes, you're paying taxes on peanuts. You wind up with only the shell to keep for yourself. You know what I mean? So I think that that was better for them back then. It was ridiculous what they went through, you know. But anyway, here we go. In 2023, Tony Khan made $6.5 billion bid to buy the WWE, but he was outbid by Endeavor. Do you think Khan will eventually buy the WWE in the future?
No, I don't think so. I don't think, first of all, I don't think Endeavor would ever sell it. And I think that if that were to happen, then you're talking about a monopoly for all intents and purposes. I don't see that happening. I see Tony Khan growing his own brand.
Technically, the WWE at one time had a monopoly. Okay.
Yes.
Technically, you know, but now, because there's so much going on and there's laws now against having a monopoly, that you know, I don't know them exactly, but I know that you can't be the one and only doing anything anymore. But there was a time when WWE was a monopoly. They were like the only game in town, and that was difficult, very difficult for the wrestlers. Okay, here's the 2-day card lineup. This is going to be good, all right? Saturday match, undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton with Pat McAfee. What do you think, Rich?
Randy Orton. I don't like the way this is going. I don't like the storyline. I don't like the Pat McAfee piece of it. But at the end of the day, Randy Orton deserves the belt. I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if you saw this the other day, Carmella. This was on YouTube. They had about a 5-minute interview, and it was one-on-one with Wade Barrett and Randy Orton. And it was the first time that Randy Orton actually spoke about the whole history and with this match coming up. And he basically came out and said, Cody said it was okay for me to listen to the voices in my head. And I still love Randy. And I'm sorry, I still love Cody. I'll always love Cody, but I'm going to destroy him. And it was a really fascinating interview with Wade Barrett asking the questions, because all you've seen out of this so far is what is Pat McAfee's mouth and Randy Orton just basically trying to make the fans turn against them.
Well, see, that's the thing. And going back to what I said before, I think it'd be kind of like a Steve Austin thing where Randy has changed so much and he's gotten the support of the fans that even if he was a pure, unforgivable heel, like even with, like Drew McIntyre, like the people hate him, but they don't. You know what I mean? It's like whether you're a heel or whether you're a face, they still like you because they like you. They like your song. They like your gimmicks. They like what you're doing. So I do think Randy's going to win as well. I think there's other things in the works for Cody. He may or may not turn heel. But I was just thinking of something real quick. Wouldn't it be crazy? This is just crazy. If during this whole thing that happened, okay, that Pat McAfee, who to me is useless, but Pat McAfee turns on Randy and helps Cody keep the belt. Wouldn't that be just something?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. A double turn. I was thinking about that yesterday. Sometimes they wind up doing the unexpected at the 11th hour.
Yeah.
And maybe because this thing has gone so poorly for them, WWE has been skewered over this angle. And maybe because of that, maybe they'll pull a double turn at the end.
Okay, just a thought. Like I said, I don't know for sure if it's going to happen or not, but It's a thought, and it was something that I would probably like to see. Again, Pat McAfee, in my opinion, was the absolute 100% wrong choice. There's a million people I would have loved to have seen his dad. There's a million people that would have been able to do that, especially since in the background they had pictures of his father, But okay, we'll wait and see what happens with that. Everybody email us. Let us know what you think about that. It's 316carmela@gmail.com.
One more question though.
Sure.
If they were to do that, what happens with Jelly Roll?
Okay, one of two things I think could happen with Jelly Roll. That's another thing, okay? Either Jelly Roll could get hurt and get taken out, okay? Or Jelly Roll might turn to Randy and Pat McAfee might turn to Cody. Somewhere along the line, something's going to happen because even that last week on SmackDown when Jelly Roll got all beat up, I don't know. Cody didn't react too violently to his friend getting beat up. So I don't know. Like I didn't put Jelly Roll into the mix too much because I know he's excited. He loves to do what he's doing. He loves to do what he was taught to do. He loves wrestling. I don't see him making any kind of a big dent. The only reason I say that is because Pat McAfee's been trained well and he's been in some really good matches on his own. But I don't know. It would be funny if there was a double turn of Pat McAfee and Cody, and then maybe Jelly Roll runs over to Randy's side. That would be something cool. That would give them ammunition, though, for the next pay-per-view.
Well, what I've read is that at Backlash, it's supposed to be Jelly Roll and Cody against McAfee and Orton.
Well, there you go.
Now, if that's the case, they already determined that Randy Orton has to win because if Randy Orton doesn't win, Pat McAfee said he will never be in WWE again. Yeah. However, that doesn't mean that you can't still do a double turn and just reverse it and still have the tag match.
Yeah, but okay, they can reverse it and reverse the tag team and have McAfee.
Exactly.
They can reverse it that way. I don't know. Like I said, it's just a thought. I don't know that that's really what's going to happen. It would be nice to see something become askew in that whole thing. Something change. Something rather than just 1, 2, 3. Pat McAfee interferes. Jelly Roll beats up Pat McAfee. Randy Orton wins. Blah. That sounds kind of boring to me. I'd just like to see something with a little pepper, like them lemon pepper steppers, you know what I mean? I like something with a little extra pepper in there, Okay, let's go ahead, what?
I was just going to say, Carmella, think about the total shock value it was when Cena turned on Cody. No one expected that. So
no, they did. They didn't. And the funny thing is, though, as soon as that happened, like I was sitting watching it in my TV, on my TV rather, and as soon as it happened, I mean, I knew it was going to happen anyway. But as soon as it happened, it was like when he changed his face when he was hugging Cody, and he went from
Yeah.
to that. That was the best part, I think, of his whole heel turn was that face he made. The rest of it sucked. He sucked as a heel. He really did. That's why it didn't last long, because they knew that they had done the wrong thing. But they let him do it because he wanted it so badly, and it didn't work out. So I don't know. I guess we'll just see what happens, you know. How about Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan? I know you don't like Stephanie.
I think Liv takes the belt.
You think? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you think with or without interference, though?
With. Absolutely
Okay.
with.
Okay. I think I'm gonna jump the gun here, and I'm gonna say Stephanie keeps it. Only because they're pushing the hell out of Liv Morgan. She just did a video now. She's got her own video and her own song and her own dance. And Liv Morgan's all over the place. She's all over the place. I think ultimately they have something bigger going on for her. I don't think that if she did win, because she wasn't before, she would be a fighting champion. I think Vaquer would be the better bet. I would like to see Vaquer keep it. That's what I'm going to say. And then we can, go over this again next week and see what the winners are. Okay, what about Seth Rollins and Gunther?
Gunther.
Gunther.
No, sorry.
Gunther. You have to say it. Gunther. No.
Well, we could say Walter if you want, but it's Gunther.
Yeah. Do you believe he's as young as he is? I can't believe it. He has a little baby. He's like 30. I cannot believe he is so young.
He doesn't look it, though. He looks much older.
He presents himself much older, too. It's crazy. Well, this looks like, what's his name? Obafemi's only 27. Like, right. I have all my kids are older than he is, but he looks like he's such a physical presence, though. It's unbelievable. But anyway, I think, I'll be honest with you, I think that Seth Rollins is going to win, because right now that Seth Rollins was supposedly so wronged by the Vision and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. I feel like he feels like he has something to recoup. And Gunther cannot go on for the rest of his life beating everybody. I mean, somewhere along the line, he's going to have to get beat again. And I think that if Seth Rollins loses to Gunther, then it's going to be like, well, he's still not doing it. You know what I mean? He's still not there. He's still not the big Seth Rollins he wants to be. He's still not man enough. If he beats Gunther, then I think that could be a catalyst or a stepping stone for him to say, okay, I did this now. I beat the guy that nobody else supposedly could beat, which he's been beaten before. I'm coming after you guys. Unless there's interference. Because Gunther is aligned with Paul Heyman too. So there probably would be interference too. But then in that case, who will help Seth Rollins? Do you think if there's interference, somebody will come out and help Seth Rollins?
No, but here's what I think is going to happen. I think there's going to be a ref bump. There's too many ref bumps, by the way. So there's going to be a ref bump. Seth is going to get the visual pin of the 3 count that he's got Gunther down for the pin. There's no ref to count. And who's going to come running out? But Braun Breaker, back from his injury. And he's going to spear Rollins. And then the referee regains consciousness and does the pin on Seth Rollins. That's a really good assessment. That really is a good assessment. But I'm also thinking, what if Braun Breaker comes out as a good guy and helps Seth Rollins? Yeah, I would love that, but I don't see it.
Yeah, but don't forget, before he went out, he was getting a little pissy. Before Braun got hurt and went out, he was getting a little bit questionable. He was getting a little bit angry at what was going on with the Vision. You could see it, like he was starting to not listen or things like that. And then don't forget, what's his name is out too. What's his name?
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed, yeah.
But Breaker was getting a little angry and a little bit miffed when Seth Rollins was still in the Vision. and then he speared him.
Right. That's true. That is true. However, he may have over time after that happened with Seth Rollins, still not like, because I don't know, just to me it's like he was never really involved in the interviews. He was never really involved that much, and maybe he said, did they bring Gunther in to replace me? I'm not going to let that happen. You know, you never know. I'm not going to play it safe. I'm going to just jump the gauntlet here. I'm just going to dive right in and say, this is what I think. Probably next week when we come back on, you're going to say to me, Carmelo, you were wrong about everything you said. How were you involved in wrestling for 62 years? You were wrong about everything. But that's just the way I feel. Well, I always do that.
Well, you could come back to me and say, how could you be a wrestling fan for 60 plus years and get it all wrong?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's probably what's going to happen when I come back. I do it with my daughter when we watch wrestling. Anytime there's a match that comes on, I'm like, okay, you pick. And then she picks one. I either ultimately pick the other one or we pick the same. That's what we do all the time. And I'm always wrong. Okay, next question. AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. Yeah.
That's a tough one. Becky Lynch now you got a dynamic where Becky Lynch is a heel, but her husband's now a face. So you've got that dynamic. I don't think it has anything to do with this particular match, but I don't think Becky Lynch needs a belt. So right now, I think AJ Lee retains.
I agree. I think AJ is going to retain it because I'll be honest with you, I don't see her and Punk staying all that long. I really don't. I have a feeling, and this is just a feeling. I have a feeling Punk's starting to get ticked off again. Okay. I don't know. I don't know for sure that he is. It's just a feeling. I didn't get any information from anybody. It's just a feeling. So once he's gone, she's not going to stay without him and vice versa, really, I think. But I think she's going to keep it for a while. But in the interim, if she does keep it, are they going to let her wrestle all the time with it? Because don't forget, since she's had it, she really hasn't defended the title, really, you know? But when Becky Lynch had it, she defended it all the time. So I don't know, but I did read that Becky still wants to spend some more time with her daughter because she's getting to the age where now, she's about, 5 years old now or whatever. And she is getting more involved with school and plays and stuff like that. So Becky wanted to be more active there. What's her name? AJ doesn't have all that, now that Larry's passed, too, they really don't have anything going on as far as that stuff goes. So I'm going to say AJ as well as you. Okay, here we go. Fatal 4-way. Nia Jax, the Lash Legend versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus the Bella Twins.
I'm going to choose Bayley and Lyra Valkyria.
And why is that?
They went back and forth with them, like they were close, and then Bayley was like doing some crazy stuff, but then they got close again. And just in the last month, they seem to have really been building them up as a duo. And I'd really like to see Bayley get another WrestleMania moment. And by winning the tag belt with Lara, I think that would do it.
Well, I agree with you to a point. I think Bayley deserves it. I think Bayley has taken the back seat for a long time now. Although, from what I understand, Bayley is also now starting to do training at the Performance Center, okay, with the young people that are coming in and stuff like that. So that could go either way. Your argument is a good one as far as why they should win, and I do agree with that. Also, from what I understand, the Bella Twins may not be there. So it may turn into a 3-way rather than a fatal 4-way. Okay. If the Bella Twins are not there, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm tired of Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. That combination never appealed to me whatsoever. Their on again, off again, love, hate triangle with the little hearts and all that. That never appealed to me. That doesn't mean anything. What I think doesn't mean anything. It just doesn't appeal to me. So I don't think they're going to get it. I think Charlotte's much better on her own with her own title. Okay. As far as Lash Legend and Nia Jax, um, I like Lash Legend a lot. Okay. To this day, though, I just don't think Nia Jax has what it takes to be that kind of a wrestler. I don't. She's good at the heavy moves. She's good at the big stuff, but she's not a technical wrestler. She just isn't. Okay, and I think that only leaves Lyra Valkyria and Bailey, or um, Charlotte and what's her name, Alexa
Alexa
Bliss.
Bliss.
But if the Bella Twins, if they are on the card, that will leave that open for them to get it, which I got to be honest, will really make me feel sad. I do not like Nikki Bella in any way, shape, or form. Bree's okay, but Nikki just gets on my nerves. She just does. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to see them with the belt. I'm so sick of that whole diva attitude still, and like, don't they have enough money? Like, why did they even come back? And Daniel Bryan is in AEW, and to me, that's almost like a slap in the face to her husband, really. But I don't know. I don't see why they're there. I just don't. I don't see any purpose in it. They are more divas than anything else. They're not good wrestlers either, and that's my opinion. So I agree with you. I would love to see Lyra and Bailey get it. So we'll see what happens with that one. Okay. The unsanctioned match with Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre.
I agree.
I think because the fact that he lost the belt so quickly to Cody, I think he needs the win. I think he needs to regain momentum. Jacob Fatu, I don't see him as a major title belt holder anytime soon. So, he can stay in his, in the family. I think Drew needs to win more than Jacob Fatu.
Okay, I agree with you. I think Drew needs to win more than Jacob Fatu. But again, looking at the history and how things have been happening in the past, the fact that Drew McIntyre is always there. He's always ready to jump in. He's always ready to beat up Jacob. He's always ready to beat up other people. He's always where he's not supposed to be. Every time you turn around, he's there. To me personally, that doesn't make for a good constitution with regard to winning a match if you're always going to cheat and do the wrong thing and all that other stuff. I am going to say that it might be possible, even though I did pick Drew, it might be possible for Jacob Fatu to beat him so that he can almost like go up a step, I think. Because if he loses to Drew McIntyre, what are they going to do with Jacob? If he beats Drew McIntyre, he can be the one who beat Drew McIntyre, no matter what Drew McIntyre did to him. All these beatings, all these jumping in, all this other stuff, all the blood, beating him by tying him up against the turnbuckle or the wrestling post. This is his retribution. I think that Drew McIntyre will probably win, but I would love to see Jacob Fatu win it. I really would. I think that would give him the redemption and the comeback, the restitution that he wants and he needs as well. Okay. Another unsanctioned, yeah, pretty much. Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and I Show Speed versus the Usos and LA Knight.
This is going to be a comedy match.
Especially I think it's an unnecessary match.
Totally. The only question I have is, are the Usos going to turn on LA Knight? Because that's good. I don't see that alliance. All of a sudden, they just put them together where 3 weeks ago they were arguing with each other. So I'm going to go with the Usos and LA Knight because the crowd will. I think that's good for a crowd pleaser, but I don't rule out an Uso turning on LA Knight after a victory.
Okay, this is what I think. All right. First of all, to the gentleman who said how ridiculous it was for Darby Allin to have the title because he's only 160 pounds. You got somebody like I Show Speed. Okay. Yeah, he's not a wrestler. Absolutely not. Darby Allin's been training. He's been wrestling for a good few years. Okay. He's been there, like you said, the whole time with AEW. So they're going to take this little tiny guy called I Show Speed. They're going to let him go in the ring. And what is he going to do in there? Okay. How much could he have been trained? And that's what bothers me, because that right there is showing what they're always saying about wrestling being entertainment and not a sport. Because he'll go in there, something stupid will happen. He'll accidentally trip one of the wrestlers and he'll pin them, which to me is not only stupid, but it's not necessary. Okay. Here you got this little guy who's an entertainer. All right. Has nothing to do with wrestling. And he's going to go in there and he's going to do something spectacular that was completely centered around him, that they were all in on. And that upsets me, because to me, there's not going to be any really good big wrestling there. Logan Paul, and I've said this 1,000,001 times, Logan Paul, I cannot stand him, but he is an excellent athlete. There's no taking that away from him, okay? Logan Paul is probably the one who's trained I Show Speed. But what I'm saying here is I agree that there might be a heel turn on what you're saying, but what I'm thinking is that if the heels win, it's going to be ridiculous. The only way it's going to happen is if the brass knucks come out, or
Right.
what this other stuff, what they always like to do. Austin Theory, I think, is an excellent wrestler. I think him being part of this group is just so not right. I think Austin Theory was so much better by himself. I really do. Or in a tag team once in a while. But him being part of this bad guy cult, I don't see him doing it. He's too good for that, So I'm going to take the heels. I'm going to take Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and I Show Speed. And let's see what happens, because we both have some half-decent storylines here. So let's see, let's see what happens. Now we're going on to Sunday. Okay. World Heavyweight Champion with Punk and Reigns. What do you think?
I think this is the hardest one for me to predict out of the two nights. I can see an argument for both. I don't think Roman needs the belt, and I don't see Roman coming back ever on a full-time basis. And even though they tried to make it work with Brock Lesnar years ago on a part-time basis, I never liked that. I never liked that at all. So I'm going to go with CM Punk.
I'm going to go with CM Punk as well, for the same reason you said. Also, CM Punk, again, as we said before, has the availability to be there all the time. Roman Reigns has publicly said that he wants to be at home more with his family. His boys, he's got 4 boys. They're getting older, more involved in school. His daughter is like 19 years old. She's got a boyfriend. A lot of it has to do with the true Samoan traditions, He wants to be there as a part of the family, but also he still has an underlying leukemia. And could he actually defend that title all the time? I don't think he can. I think, in all fairness, and again, I have no way to prove this, but I think that why he's away so long is because maybe he does have occasional flare-ups, and it takes him that long to recoup and retrain. So, no, I don't think he could really be a full-time champion. As much as I love Roman Reigns and as much as I do not like CM Punk, I think Punk's going to win as well, for the reasons that both of us said. Okay, let's go to Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley.
Jade Cargill is awful, in my opinion, in WWE. She was better in AEW.
She was.
I think it may not be her fault. It could be creative, but she hasn't really done anything for me in WWE. And I think Rhea Ripley is much more popular. I think she really connects well with the fans, and I think that she will win. She will beat Jade Cargill.
I agree with you. I think Rhea's going to win. Number one, I think she deserves it. I think it's been a while. She needs it, and I love Rhea Ripley. She's good at what she does. However, I agree with you on Jade Cargill, because I don't know if you've noticed this or if anybody else has noticed this, but for months now, there hasn't really been a full-fledged, honest to God, pure, plain old wrestling match in WWE. There's been so much pomp and circumstance, so much glitz and glamour, so much interference, so much hype, so much talking about WrestleMania, so much. They spent so much more of an entire hour for each show, okay, talking about what's to come, making these little snippets of what the arguments are, little snippets of matches, maybe like 3, 4, 5 minute matches before somebody jumps in and this and that. I don't like that at all. I don't like the fact that there has not been a good, honest to God, gut wrenching, real, do it all the way through match in WWE. Okay. AEW, I'm sorry, but they have a lot of really good matches, a whole lot. They have a lot of wrestling matches. Last night, wait a minute, last night was Thursday, right? Yeah, with Collision. Tekla went against Alex Windsor. Okay. To me, that was a half decent match. It was a full match. Alex Windsor got beat. End of story. Okay. Nobody jumped in. There was no boo-hooing and crying and all this stuff. It was just a match. It was a challenge. It was accepted. It was a match, and she lost. Okay. I don't like Tekla. I never did. I don't think she's good on the microphone. I don't think she's a decent wrestler. I don't like that spider crap she does. I just never did. I didn't like it when Bray Wyatt did it. But I think in the AEW, their matches are matches that you want to sit and watch. I just do. You know, even the trios. I don't like the trios either, but I think that those matches are good matches to watch. In WWE, it saddens me a little bit because I really don't think that there's been a lot, maybe a couple, but not a lot of full-blown matches. Every time there's something, especially WrestleMania, it's like months ahead of time. It's all hype, all hype. Okay. So I do think that Rhea is going to win. That's what I was getting to. Jade Cargill has hardly wrestled. She's come out. She's interfered. She's worn the special outfits. She did the glitz and glamour. She jumps in and beats everybody up. Yes. But how many matches has she really, really, really done as far as a good match recently? That's what I think. Okay. But I do agree with that Ripley's
AEW. AEW in the last several months has done a much better job with clean finishes on their matches, even on their pay-per-view. And you know, and I know we didn't talk about this at all, but you know, we talked about Darby Allin. What we didn't talk about, and I know this is Pre Mania, but I'll just mention it real quick. MJF and Kenny Omega had a 40-minute match at the pay-per-view.
Yes, in Dynasty. Yeah, absolutely.
That
was unbelievable. All of them really were clean. Will Ospreay was going to kill Jon Moxley, but he lost. See, that's what I like. It's nothing that you can. It was if it was going to be predetermined, I would have said Will Ospreay was going to win because why? Because he's so upset and so mad that his neck got broken and that he was going to kill Moxley, this, that, and the other thing, but he got beat. Okay, Kenny Omega got beat. It wasn't like the hype, like with, you know, this guy's really good, so he's going to win all the matches. That's why I like them. To me, they are more old school-ish than WWE is. I know WWE is moving forward, you know, with the money, with the popularity, with the new age stuff. I get it. I do. Go ahead, Rich. I'm sorry. You were going to say something.
No, I was just going to say, when you talk about the hype and WWE being all the hype, that's half the problem, because they hype everything, but when it comes time for the actual show, most of their matches, or I shouldn't say most, many of their matches, including main events, do not have clean finishes. They have some chicanery, interference, swerves, or whatever. They can't seem to have a clean finish. There's always got to be something. So the hype, so all the hype is better than the actual event
for them. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
now that's
WWE.
like Javon, right. That's like Javon, that new young kid in WWE. He is so good. He's so good. That kid can make that ring and those ropes talk. That's how good he is. But they're not really doing much with him. Javon Evans, and it's crazy. I think he's wonderful. I think he's awesome. There's a girl now on NXT. Her name is, I know I'm going to get it wrong. Kayla? Kayla, something like that. She's a blonde. And her finishing move is running back and forth from both ropes really, really, really fast. And then she shoulder blocks you, and that's how she beats you. Never heard of that one before. I saw it. I
No.
watched it. I don't understand that. One shoulder block because she ran real fast is a pinning hold. I don't buy it. I don't see that so much. So there's definitely controversy there on both ends, you know. So I'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's go
Yeah.
to this one I'm interested in. The Demon, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio.
I'm going with Finn Balor.
Me too.
Dominic Mysterio, he doesn't need the belt. Finn Balor's got the face turn, and I think that Finn Balor, so he was the very, very first WWE unified champion, and then he had to give it up the next day. This is years ago.
His arm, yeah.
Yeah, because of his arm. And I think that Finn Balor is a really underrated wrestler, and I don't think that WWE has historically been very kind to him. And I think that this is a good opportunity for Finn Balor to get some of his juice back.
I agree 100%. I love Finn Balor. I always did. I love that entrance music. I was so pissed off when they took it away from him, but I love that. I love that demon look. He hates it. He hates doing the demon, but I love that. I love the fact that, you know, he doesn't like walking into the ring on all four hands. He doesn't like doing anything. He doesn't like putting the makeup on. He doesn't like anything about it, but he's so good at it. Okay. Now, bar no interference. Okay. If there's no interference, I'm saying Finn Balor. Maybe even with interference, it'll be Finn Balor. He's that good. He really is that good. And I absolutely love him. And I agree with you that they have not pushed him enough. They have not given him his just dues, or as they say, flowers. He's got a lot of receipts to give out, and let him do it. Let him have his moment. Okay. So I agree with you on that one. All right. Let's see who's next. Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams.
Well, I think for me, the outcome is easy, but what I'm intrigued about is what are they doing with Sami Zayn and his character? And last Friday on SmackDown, he's getting booed out of the building. So I'm calling for Trick Williams, but Sami Zayn is now coming across as a whiner, and the fans are not taking to it. And is Sami Zayn turning heel again? Regardless of that, I think that part is more intriguing than who I think is going to win the match, because I think it's going to be Trick Williams.
I think it's going to be Trick also. Maybe we'll actually get to see how good Trick Williams is, okay? He's an excellent wrestler. In NXT, that's all they did was show how good he was. Sami Zayn, I think what's happening with Sami Zayn is what they're making his character do, okay? I don't think that Sami Zayn has any control over that at all. But I think that Sami Zayn would be a much better heel than a face. I really do. As a face, he doesn't really have it. Once that song is done and everybody sings, oh, all that, and it's nice and he jumps around and dances, I love that. He comes in the ring and I mean, yeah, he comes back a lot at the end, but he gets creamed 90% of the time. Maybe as a heel, he won't get creamed as much, and he'll pull up some negative vibes, which would be a good thing for him. I think in this particular time of his life, him pulling up a few negative vibes might be better for him than the face vibes, because like when he came out and did his last speech to the crowd, he's like, what did I do? Like, what's wrong with you guys? Like he led them into that. That was opened up by him. Okay. So yeah, I think Trick is going to win. I think it's time. They need to push Trick. They really do. Okay. These are two matches featured on the first hour in ESPN. Penta versus, there you go, Javon Evans versus Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough versus Rusev versus Rey Mysterio versus Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan versus Randy Savage. I mean, there's so many people. Let's just go to the other side of the world. Wow, that's a big match. Holy crap. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 way. A 6 way. You want me to repeat the names?
No. I'm going with Levon Evans.
Okay, let me see what they are again. All right, JD McDonough, no way.
No. Dragon Lee, no way.
Rusev and
no
Rey
way.
Mysterio, no. Either
No.
Penta or Javon. Now, I got to be honest with you, too. Penta, and I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this, he's not my favorite. He really isn't. There's something about Penta that I just don't see, all right? I think Javon Evans is going to win. That Javon Evans, man, he is unbelievable. I think, now, what happens at the end of this ladder match? Does that give them a, it gives them, for the Intercontinental Championship, never mind. I think it'd be nice to see him with a belt. I really do. I think it'd be good. And like I said earlier, I didn't even realize that they didn't look at that match. And earlier, I said that they don't push him enough. He is amazing. That man is like a giant grasshopper. Like, he just jumps all over the place, and he's good at what he does. But he can also, it's not all jump. It's not all high flying. He can actually wrestle. And that's what I like about him. So I would love to see him get that. Okay, here it is. Dun, da, da, da. My favorite match of the night. My buddy right there. Obafemi and Brock Lesnar.
I'm going with what I said from the last couple of weeks. It's going to be a squash match, just like Darby Allin with MJF. I think Obafemi's going to beat Brock Lesnar clean within no more than 3 to 5 minutes.
Really? Now I'm going to say something about that. Have you ever actually seen Obafemi in a real wrestling match?
Oh, absolutely. I saw him lose the belt against Ricky Saints. I saw him win the belt. Oh, he's a great wrestler.
Really, for a big man, he's a very good wrestler. He's really good. It's not just all that, he's a good wrestler. Brock Lesnar, on the other hand, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Brock Lesnar hasn't gone more than maybe, 20 minutes, half an hour, maybe, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's going very long. I think, and again, Brock Lesnar's older. Brock Lesnar's in pain. Brock Lesnar's been around a lot more. He's got more bumps and bruises than Oba does. Obviously, they're going to do what they're told to do. I get that. But I would love, 100%, I would love to see Obafemi take that match. I really would. I would just love it. And I think I would just pee a little. I'm not kidding. I think I'm going to cry. I love him. All right. I also want to say something that has nothing to do with WrestleMania. I found a little bit funny. Okay. They did an interview with Brock Lesnar, and Brock was saying stuff about how, he tries to always be nice to the fans. And, but he said if he's ever with his family, he will not take pictures. Please don't approach him if he's with his family. His family is the most important thing in the world to him, blah, 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 which I thought was very commendable. I really did. However, okay, I do get the fact that they're allowed a private life. Absolutely 100%. All right. What I don't get is him talking like that while he's involved in this lawsuit. Where was your family honor then? No. I'm sorry. Don't get me started because,
I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah. I mean, we both been saying the same thing. Yeah. It's hypocritical when you think about it.
Mm-hmm. But in the long run, and trust me, I'm a woman. I know. In the long run, the woman always gets the blame, even by the men's wives, okay? Because Sable will probably be the first one to say something like, oh, how could she do that? How could she ruin my marriage, my family? I'll kill her. Where was your husband while all this was happening? Was he home with you, with his family, who he loves dearly? No. He was very heavily contemplating setting up a play date with this woman. And that's a fact. All right, that's it. I'm done. Don't get me started because, we'll be here for another 3 hours because nothing grinds my gears more than a woman blaming another woman because her husband cheated on her. Oh, that gets Ugh. Like I said, don't get me started. Anyway, let's talk a little bit more wrestling because my temperature, I'm glad I got my air conditioner on here because my hair's ready to stand up. Okay, so I think, okay, that tonight's Hall of Fame, for the most part, is going to be very boring. Okay. Unfortunately, I think it's because it comes on after SmackDown. I think it's going to last like it usually does till 2 or 3 in the morning. Especially the Stephanie induction. That'll probably be an hour on its own, I think. Yeah, I do. Why she needs, now I also heard that she's going to have several people inducting her. Why she needs more than one person to induct her, I don't know. I don't recall ever having any inductee having multiple people induct them. Okay. I mean, I don't know. She's probably going to have Triple H, probably going to have The Undertaker, maybe her kids, you know. I don't know, but I don't think they need all that. I really don't. I don't think they need all that. I think she deserves it. I think it's a great thing, but I don't think they need all that extra stuff. You know, I'm a very simple person. I really am. That glitz and glamour stuff is not for me. Okay.
Well, also, her mother might be there too. Her mother might be there too.
Her mother may, because she's still a part of that whole group there. Her brother may. I doubt it, but he may. I want to say a quick thank you to Jim Cornette. Hopefully somebody will tell him I'm saying this. He mentioned my name on his podcast. A couple people told me, not because he's like, oh, Carmella's great, I love her, but because somebody was talking to him about Carmelo Hayes, and he was saying, what's this Carmella? The only Carmella I know is the Carmella from Wrestling Radio who did it with Joel Goodhart. And I really appreciate that. That was very nice, and I'm very grateful, and thank you, Jim Cornette. And I would love nothing more than to have him on this podcast. I know it won't happen, but I'm very grateful. I also want to make another announcement. I was just on the phone yesterday. Are you ready for this? With Teal Piper. Do you know who that is?
Gotta be related to Roddy.
Roddy's daughter. She said she would be more than glad to do the podcast. So we're going to have her on the podcast. After we're done with WrestleMania, we're going to have her. We're going to have Professor Bear, and hopefully he'll come on and talk about what we're all going to do. We're going to have, I'm trying to get Larry Zbyszko, trying to get Tony Atlas again. He's been very busy, but I'm trying to get him. I am going to be going to a con in May with Joel Goodhart, where I'm going to try and, you know, pull up a whole bunch of other people. We're going to have Chuck Langerman. To me personally, the fact that he's not an actual wrestler, to me, he's a star. Like I said, the man, the myth, the legend, this guy is phenomenal. He did say, no offense to you, Rich, but he did say he wanted to be on when Jeannie was going to be on too. So I'm going to have you and Jeannie, Chuck and myself. Okay. So we'll do that when Chuck can do it. So we're looking forward to the future. Again, any fans want to be on, we want you to be on. Email us at 316carmella@gmail.com. Rich will be hanging out with us for a while. So I think this is going to be good. I, again, cannot thank you enough for allowing us to have a 115th episode. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's amazing. I am totally honored. I am so grateful. Rich, I can't tell you how wonderful it is to have you with me. It's been amazing. You and I can bang out those old stories, man, so fast. It's crazy, you know. Well, I appreciate it. No, absolutely. And you're not going to go far. Don't worry. We may have to wind up having a 3-person radio show or podcast. I don't know. We'll see. Again, do you have any other wrestling stuff you want to talk about before we shut this down?
I don't think so. I would like to, at some point in time with you, get into NXT and TNA now that TNA has the weekly show.
Absolutely. After Mania, we can set up NXT and TNA. Absolutely. I would love that. And we'll do a series. We'll do a series on that, on those as well.
Yeah, TNA seems to have really stepped it up a level. And
I watched some of it. Yeah, I watched some of it last night.
And
Wednesday.
I don't know if I'm assuming you're familiar with EC3. He did a surprise return. They had their pay-per-view last Friday, where AEW had their Saturday, TNA had theirs Friday, and
now
EC3.
Where can we see the pay-per-view for TNA?
Well, you have to pay for that.
Right.
So I think there's a TNA Plus, or it's through whoever the cable provider is.
Okay.
But the weekly show is on AMC now from Thursdays from 9 to 11,
Okay.
um, and their announce team is he was Tom Phillips in WWE, and then they terminated him, and now he goes by his real name, Tom Hannafan, and his commentary guy is, gosh, I forget his real name, but in WWE he was Aiden English. Remember the guy that used
Oh
to
my
sing the
God.
intro?
Yeah. I remember him. Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
so he goes by his real name, and it escapes me. But he's the color guy, and he's great. And the two of them are terrific, and they've got great production crew, and they've really stepped it up.
Well,
And
maybe we should try to get in touch with them and see if we can have some of their wrestlers on the podcast too. I think that's important. I would love to do that. After Mania, we'll start working on that. Absolutely. I would love to do that. One more thing. Okay, not done? Go ahead, Rich.
no, I was just going to say their champion, Mike Santana. I've
I remember
not
that name.
so not real familiar with him until recently, but he has a history of, I guess, drug use or in the gangs or whatever, and he's redeemed himself, and he's really a tremendous talker and a really good champion. They have a group, they have a heel group called the System. They have this guy called Moose, who
He used to be on. Moose was on AEW, wasn't he? First, when he first came out,
I know he was.
No, he was on NXT. No, because he went up against Obafemi.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
it's hard to remember some of this stuff when you're very old, It really is. I wanted to say too, I know everybody says that, I'm always loving Will Ospreay and I always love him, and I do, I really do. But let me tell you something, okay? And I'm going to say this honestly. I think honestly that the AEW is overdoing the neck injury now. I don't know how you feel about that. But technically, I mean, if the guy wasn't able to come back, don't let him come back. But he's coming back, and every single match he's in, he gets his neck ripped apart. He can't move. He can't move his arm. They kind of have to drag him out of the ring, or he sprouts up at the last minute and wins the match. I love Will Ospreay. Don't get me wrong. I will always love him, but let the neck heal for real. I know it already has. Otherwise, he wouldn't be back. But let it heal on TV and let him do some real wrestling. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you, and I know you saw this, when he was going against Moxley, holy crap. Did you see that one thing where Moxley had him like this and he dropped him on his head and then his legs went all the way up in the air? He fell down, he got up, gave him the hidden blade and fell right back down again. That was really good. That was good. Yeah. I like that a lot. But, I mean, obviously we could talk about wrestling forever. I mean, it's clear. But I thought originally of doing a podcast after Saturday night and after Sunday night, but I will probably be delirious. So we're going to do it next week because we can throw Raw in there. So, Rich, I believe next Wednesday we're doing it, right? Is that when our after Mania is next week? I think it's on Wednesday, but I'll advertise it. We'll put it up. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, everybody, I hope you have a great time. I really do. Keep our predictions out there, and we'll see what we think when it actually happens. I'm finding a way to watch it. And I just, I'll do that for Mania. I'm not going to watch the other stuff. I don't watch AEW either. I just get all the feedback from everybody. But anyway, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Please enjoy yourselves. Don't do anything stupid. Don't drink too much, because otherwise you won't be able to remember anything. I don't remember because of my age. Don't forget because of drinking too much. And don't drink and drive, please. That's so important. Rich, I hope you have a great weekend. As always, thank you for adding so much to this podcast, and thank you for being here.
Well, again, thank you once again for having me. It's an honor.
It's an honor to have you. I love you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Love you too.
Good night.
All right. Good night.